After having read the novel, would you want to see Ready Player 2?
Fuck. My first reaction is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a part of me is like, I want to see any movie right now.
That's true. It would feel nice.
I don't know, man. Like, Ready Player 2 was such a fucking disappointment. Have you gone into it at all?
I don't think I will. I've heard an excerpt, and basically it just sounded like, oh, look, it's this, a reference to this, which was James Halliday's favorite this. Oh, now look, it's that, which is a reference to that, which is his favorite that thing. And it's like,
Yeah, dude, I feel like I'm kind of salty because I feel like the sequel book was set up more so by the movie.
Oh, really?
Because in the movie, they even make a big point of it, like, is Halliday, like, gone? Is he, like, still in the Oasis somehow? And I even, like, towards the end when they're in the room and he's getting, like, the egg and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I don't feel like the original book really did that too much. And then, you know, this shit came out and it was like, Halliday's alive, bitches. Spoiler.
The book ended. It's just his avatar, right? That he's talking to, and it's very, if not very clearly that's just his avatar. There's no there's no hints to it could be the real Halliday. So he's alive in the sequel.
No.
Ugh.
So it's part of it's part of this whole fucking. It's part of the plot. I don't know
So what's the book about?
I don't know if I should get spoilers.
Go ahead, spoil it. This is our spoiler. We're spoiling.
All right, cool. It's basically, it turns out, so like after like 4 days of like, you know, after the contest,
Yeah.
Artemis and Parzival break up.
Oh, fun. I
Yeah.
hate when that shit happens.
So they immediately find out that there's actually like this shit called like, you ever see Sword Art Online?
No.
There's basically this shit where you put it on your head and it like transmits like your brain waves.
Oh, I'm aware of what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I never watched it, but yeah.
So yeah, basically that exists and it has existed, but like how they never brought it out because he's like, I don't know about the repercussions of this. Everybody else except for Artemis is like, yeah, no, this is great. People can use it. Like people who are paralyzed can use it. This, and that. Yeah. Anyway, fucking turns out how they like the Game Gear bullshit like downloads your consciousness and your memory.
Oh, okay, here we
onto
go.
a file in the Oasis. So there's like a backup version of you. That Halliday one is actually a backup of the original Halliday that he tried to like fuck up and like mess the memories with, so he wouldn't be an asshole.
Gotcha.
Turns him into more of an asshole. The whole thing is like that Anorak, copy is holding the world hostage, saying that like if he doesn't, like, you know, if they don't complete this quest for him, he's gonna fry everybody who's plugged in at that moment. Mm-hmm. And he like traps them into the game. Then, you know, fighting ensues, people die, blah 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 blah. They stop the Halliday clone, and they're like, I think Artemis is like, you were right, there is good in the nerve gear shit. So the book literally ends with everybody making a copy of themselves and being launched into space.
What?
On board a starship with other like actual human DNA and like embryos and shit. And the AIs are the copies of everybody runs the ship while all the other humans stay back behind to try to fix the planet.
Well, that sounds fun.
The whole book, it's found out it's being told by the perspective of the AI Parzival.
Like a separate entity from
Parzival.
From Wade.
Yes, from Wade Watts. Yeah.
That's not fun.
He's like, yeah, I saw photos of their kid. You know, it's pretty great. I'm happy for them. But we're on our mission to colonize space for humanity.
So you loved it.
I hated it. I was really hyped. I've been hyped for this book for so fucking long. You know, I love Ready Player One. Mm. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be great. I pre-ordered the book like months in advance. I got a fucking signed copy of it.
Conceptually, it sounds like something that maybe like might have been interesting in their own novel, but maybe not as a direct sequel to Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Is that how it felt when you were reading it?
Yeah.
Like it kind of, maybe that's why all those references that I was talking about earlier feel more like shoehorned in and not really important to the story. Yeah. Or
they spend like fucking 10 chapters on Prince.
Like
the artist formerly known as Prince.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm ever going to read this book.
I don't think I'm ever going to read it again either.
Which sucks because we both love Ready Player One. And I mean the book, because I've actually read the book, and that should stand out to everyone because I don't read. I don't like reading, so Ready Player One is one of the only books that I've read. I don't know if I would ever reread it because upon rereading it, it does feel a little cringy with the references.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I like the story and the concept and the world. So I knew you were disappointed in the novel. However, the movie of Ready Player One is wildly different from the book. So I was curious to know how you would feel if they announced, oh, Steven Spielberg, he's returning to the sequel, Ready Player 2. How excited that would make you, knowing that there will be like some pretty wild changes done from the book itself.
So I don't like the book, so I feel like I'm be willing to give the movie a shot.
Gotcha.
So I got nothing to lose.
That's true.
I literally have nothing to lose. I show up, I hate the movie, and I'm like, that was trash, fitting for the book.
Yeah.
Or this is the canon storyline in my head now.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
It can't be any worse than the book.
Yeah.
Especially if it was done by Steven Spielberg. He's a pretty good director. Have you heard of him?
No.
Never?
No.
So, yeah, I'm on the same boat. I would like to see a movie. 'Cause we both loved the film on top of loving the book.
Yeah.
I
like the film.
love that movie. It has flaws. I mean, Wade might as well just be a fucking cardboard box. He's so emotionless. And CG spotty. There's a lot of over-the-top references. But I like the fundamental story. And I think that's probably why I like the book in the first place. I like the foundation of the story of the world. I think it's interesting. Which is why I would be open to seeing a sequel. It just sucks to hear that the book is so bad.
So I have a coworker of mine who I'm pretty sure this dude actually grew up like in the 80s. You know, he's an older guy.
Uh-huh.
And we were like sitting by the coffee maker waiting for a fucking pot of coffee to brew.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, what do you listen to?" I was like, "Oh, the Ready Player 1 sequel book, Ready Player 2, whatever." And like not expecting this dude to know about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've actually been listening to that." And immediately I was like, "Oh shit, what's your opinion on it?" And he just kind of stared at me, stared at the pot of coffee, shaking his head. He's like, "Yeah, it's bad."
Ooh.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty bad." I have nothing to connect with this guy with because he's so older than me, and like the only connection we have is like we work together. But we were able to relate on this like
Right.
shittiness of this book. It was a nice moment.
There you go. You'll always be able to bond over that moment on how bad the book is. So, did Ernest Cline luck out with Ready Player
Yes.
One?
I thought okay. So his work was Ready Player One, Armada.
Ready Player One was first.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Armada,
Uh-huh.
and then Ready Player 2.
Oh.
Ready Player 1 was pretty I liked it a lot,
Yes.
you know, as we talked about. Armada was pretty cringy too.
Really?
You knew about the book Armada?
I have actually read the first chapter.
Okay.
My girlfriend was looking for Christmas gifts to buy her older brother, and he's into nerdy shit too, as we all are. And she came across the book, and so she was like, "Do you think you'll like this?" I was like, "I don't know." She bought it, and I just ended up reading the first chapter before she went to go like wrap it or whatever. And I thought it was interesting enough. It's the first chapter, so I don't have much of the story. I know he either saw or thinks he saw an alien spacecraft that's from a video game or something.
All right.
That's all I know.
Do you want me to tell more?
Go for it.
Basically, it is an alien spacecraft.
Uh-huh.
Aliens have been real for fucking decades. The government knew about them. They started making video games to train normal people
Oh,
to fight
it's backwards.
the alien war. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then like the aliens are finally coming. It turns out like the human race has an army of drones that people are going to pilot remotely, and that's what the whole point of video games have been. And then the aliens show up and they start fucking shit up, and humanity's like, "We got this." And then finally, humanity's about to lose. They're like sending this like spaceship with like a nuclear bomb to go fuck up like the homeworld of the aliens, which is like Neptune or some shit. And and then finally, like, the main character's like, "No, this is a test." And he stops the fucking bomb from going off. And then the aliens show up and they're like, "This was a test.
Oh.
You passed the test. Humanity is, worthy of joining, like, the Galactic Council.
Oh.
We're gonna fix all the shit we've done. People is dead, but it's part of the test. Here's all this new technology. Welcome to the Galactic Council. Bye." And like, think of like your moodiest teenager from any movie ever, where he's like, "I hate you, mom and dad."
Yeah.
And then like think of that like with a little bit more like fucking edginess added on, and that's your main characters from Ernest Cline books. So that was a fucking trashy.
So he's gotten worse over the years.
Yeah.
Ready Player One was good. Armada was not great.
Yeah.
Ready Player Two was pretty bad.
I truly believe like Lightning Struck was Ready Player One, and then where he's just riding off the fucking curtails of that.
Like with how cringy Ready Player One can be at times.
It's pretty cringy.
It's wild to think that it was so successful as it was, because a lot of people were talking about Ready Player One when it first came out, and obviously it did become a major blockbuster motion picture. So yeah, I guess he just lucked out.
Yeah.
Would you like to see a movie based on Armada?
Yeah.
Because you can give anything a chance.
Yeah, I'll give anything a chance.
You can make anything good.
Yeah.
Just depending on the right people.
I've always liked that idea of like the aliens like being real and like regular people being like trained to, like Independence Day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'd be willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, that's a good movie to compare it to. That's a good vibe to have. Fighting against... I like the idea that, oh yeah, these aliens were real, and like the government or whoever tried to subliminally tell us that they were real through video games or whatever. It's silly, super silly, but like, yeah, then make the tone of the movie silly, skew towards Independence Day campiness. We gotta rally together. Whatever.
Also, all the top gamers were recruited by the government to go work on the secret base on the moon.
All right.
On the moon.
That sounds like a Futurama skit where they fight the video game characters. There's the literal
Space Invaders ships
coming down, and he has to shoot up. I don't want it to be that campy, but okay. So would you ever? Ernest Cline comes out with another book. Are you gonna read it?
Yes.
Why? Because you like Ready Player One that much?
That much? Fucking sucker.
I'll
be like, maybe he'll strike lightning twice. I don't know.
It could happen.
It could happen.
Ready Player 3. You're gonna be there. You're gonna pre-order that. You're gonna get it signed.
All right, look, I'm a sucker for shitty sci-fi. There's no doubt about that. I'm like, my audiobook library, my actual library is like fucking hundreds of titles from like shitty sci-fi. Like, I'm a fan.
I gotcha, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Eventually, he's bound to hit something that you do like, right?
Well, your ears open. So what you're telling me? Ready Player 2's not
I don't think so. I can't judge it fairly because I haven't read it, but everything I hear is telling me that, it's pretty not alright.
Can I go off on a tangent?
I mean, yeah.
So you talk about how fucking wildly different Ready Player 1 is from the book and the novel?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking World War Z. They made an entire narrative for the movie.
That is
the
true.
only thing that World War Z has in common was the book is the title.
That's it.
And that they're zombies.
Yeah.
And even the zombies aren't the fucking same zombies.
That's very true. Yeah, that's a good point. You can make anything. They might as well try and remake World War Z. I'm surprised. I think you were the one who told me you would like to see it as a mini series.
Yes,
like on HBO.
The actual fucking book. You should seriously read World War Z.
I might have if not, I've read chunks of it. I think maybe my brother had a copy of it.
Yeah.
Each chapter is a different perspective.
Yes.
From a different person.
Yes.
In different points of the apocalypse. Yeah.
So every chapter is like some chapters continue on from the original person's story, but like it's not just about like, oh, I was like fucking stabbing zombies left and right, hiding in a hole, shit like that. No, it's like, hey, I was like the prime minister of this like Caribbean country. We rose to power because we had like stable borders and like a lot of isolation, and we had a lot of natural resources. So we became like a hub for industry. Next story is like, yeah, I was a fucking soldier. The army fucked everything up. They didn't know what was going on.
It's told like in an interview, like?
Yeah, so the main character...
So the apocalypse had already happened.
Yeah, this is years into the future where the world is safe.
Yes.
There's still like some zones that are fucked up, but like it's all contained.
Mm-hmm.
But this is years, and it's people. It's an interview we're asking like people about like the shit they did and they saw and like everything. One dude's like, yeah, I was hired to protect a bunch of celebrities at a house that they tried to make a reality show. It was like a big fortified house, and all these celebrities were there.
Right. I remember. Yeah. I read that one. Yeah. That does sound like it would make for a really good show.
They fucking have like 3 chapters on this one dude who's like, yeah, I trained war dogs. He's like, oh, what kind of dogs do you guys have? Like huskies, golden retrievers? Like, no, like Dutch hounds and like little Pomeranians and shit. He's like, what the fuck? Why? He's like, they're small, they're agile, they can get through like cracks and crevices.
Yeah.
And then you just hear this dude talking about this fucking dog and like how he had to activate the suicide collar on his dog.
Oh.
And he's like fucking breaking down, and you're like, damn, this shit's fucking crazy.
That would make for a good show, especially now with like HBO Max. Like they need content.
Yeah.
Instead of like just throwing their filmmakers under the bus and releasing their shit on there without their consent, make a show for HBO Max. That's good.
I think it'd be fucking fantastic, bro.
I agree with that. Would you want a Ready Player One to be a show? I think it's better as a movie, right?
I don't think it would work as a miniseries at all.
It's not the same type of...
No. I feel like, for me, a miniseries needs to be like a really long narrative or a bunch of mini narratives like chunked in there.
Like anthological.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Read World War Z.
Read Ready Player 2.
No.
Just no? Just no. You wouldn't recommend it to anyone?
No, not at all.
Not even.
I mean, okay, look, man, look. I wouldn't pay for it. Is what I'm trying to get at.
If someone gives it to you as a gift, fuck it, maybe read it.
Yeah, maybe give it a shot, and if not, like, the covers look cool next to each other.
Does it match the first cover?
Yeah.
When my girlfriend was shopping, we went to a bookstore and she saw a copy of Ready Player One. It was the movie poster.
Yeah, I fucking
his
hate
leg
that.
is so long.
Yeah.
It's not proportional. Why? That's the worst poster I've ever seen. Maybe
it's pretty
it's
bad.
so bad.
Long leg, Wade Watts.
I love it though.